touring in the past, just because it's like after a certain amount of time on the road, it just gets dark for me. I start getting like depressed and stuff. But it has gotten better, and I would say getting on the road and seeing like it's like a reminder, like, oh, this is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I made this song in the studio, but like now I'm witnessing thousands of people singing it, and like I don't know. That's a cool reminder and something that I've grown to like love and be more thankful for, because now it's like it's just a cool reminder to be like, oh, people actually care about this thing that I do.
Yeah, you
or
actually
it
see the
meant something
impact
to them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You actually see the impact, because I imagine seeing the impact online with comments and shares, I don't know, it might not be as satisfying as seeing thousands of people in front of you singing your songs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Yeah. About your music videos, they're also very much cinematic.
Yeah.
There's so much to see. They're so visual, but also so many references and Easter eggs. How much involved are you in the idea for a music video, and then in directing it?
Extremely involved. Probably more involved than I wish I was sometimes. Yeah, no, I love making music videos. It has gotten more difficult because they're bigger productions. I always was like, oh, I want to make a movie or a short film, which I probably still want to try a short film just to see how I like it. But I love directing. But it's just so stressful. I wish I could just enjoy it, but I'm just so stressed the whole time. And
what's
like,
stressing you most about it?
like, I just want to make sure I have all the shots. You never have enough time. You just never do. You think you're going to have enough time, but you just don't. So you're always scrambling to get, like in Hope, I didn't have enough time in one of the shots we were doing. So we just had to literally just make something up for like 20 seconds. I just had to make something up on the spot. Okay, I'm just going to walk here and rap here, and then he's going to come up and push me or whatever. Like, there was supposed to be like a CGI thing that happened there. It's just like, there's so many details, especially in that video. I wish I would have done behind the scenes. Like, that was the hardest video I've ever shot, but people probably don't know when they watch it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's a crazy process. So I am definitely involved. My wife's actually like good at coming up with video ideas. Like, she came up with the Time music video idea. So she like, sometimes I'll just be like, you got to give me an idea. I'm like out creatively, because I'm so involved in every aspect. I just get like super exhausted from the merch, the music videos, writing, producing, you know, I like to be in the room when we make the beats, like a lot of the beats and stuff. So it's like sometimes I just hit my limit. I'm like, anybody tell me, like, give me an idea for this. So.
But is it the lack of trust in other people that you cannot, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always like, well, they're not going to think about it the way I think about it, or they're not going to execute it the way I'll execute it. And it doesn't necessarily mean they're wrong, but yes, I'm like I'm a control freak 100%. I'm like a pretty nice guy, but when it comes when it comes to work stuff, sometimes I am like, I'm so stressed. I just become like a person that I wish I wasn't, but I don't know sometimes how to do it. Like, you'd have to be on a video shoot. Like, me and my video guy, we laugh because we've been working together for like 8-9 years, and we've like lost it on each other on set before because it's so stressful. It just is.
Is everybody hushing away from you when
you're spending a ton? Like, I'm spending so much money, and you're just literally sitting there like, we have to finish this. This needs to look good. This is all this pressure, you know, and then he's got all his pressure too. So it's like, yeah, I love it, but yes, it drives me insane sometimes for sure.
But the outcome is amazing though.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I had the chance to listen to Happy, and the first thing I noticed about the song was how poppy it sounds. And that you're actually singing through the whole song. I think
Yeah.
that
The second verse is
haven't really
kind
happened.
of yeah, but it's not my normal. Yeah, it's kind of like melodic rapping, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, was that intentional? Did you wanted to try that out, or did it just happen?
That song was kind of a nightmare at first because I made like 4 versions.
The song is called Happy, and you're calling
well,
it a
it used to be
nightmare.
a song called Older. And it just like it's that thing I talked to you about earlier where I just like couldn't finish it. Like it just like I'm probably gonna finish it later, but and then I ended up starting to write that song, and then I was gonna try to get someone on the second verse, just didn't end up happening, which I'm glad I didn't, because like basically my buddy was like, bro, I showed him like a snippet of something I wrote, and he was like, you have to like rap the second verse or whatever, like. And so I was like, fine. So I kept trying to write it, and finally I landed on something I really liked. I mean, I thought it was cool because I was like, this is a song I wanted to go to radio with. But I didn't like, when I go into radio songs, I'm never like, I want to make this more poppy. It's like, you want it to be something catchy, but I also was like, I want it to be emotional and relatable. And I guess, I mean, who knows how people feel about it, but I love it. It's one of my favorite songs on the record. I think it's, I don't know, I think it's super relatable, and it means a lot to me just because I feel like it's a cool but like interesting concept, because I feel like when you listen to it, you're not like, this is depressing. But then when you actually, the music feels like kind of upbeat and energetic. But then when you actually listen to the lyrics, you're like, well, this is kind of sad because this person's saying, I don't know who I'd be if I was happy. But
That's a line I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah, but that's like how I feel. Like, I've been this way for so long that like feeling happy, it's like if you ask anybody, they're going to be like, yeah, I want to be happy. Yeah, I want to have joy or whatever. And I would say that too. But then when I actually dig into it, I'm not very good at changing and things like that, and I've had to like dig into things in my life, and I'm like, I sometimes feel like I don't know who I would be. Like, I don't know how to function that way, or like I don't know how to not worry about everything and get anxiety about things, or like, and then I fear like, am I going to be the same artist if I was happy? Like, what would I even write about? I've always talked about how, I'm in a bad place. So yeah, that line's kind of like, what do you mean? I don't know who I'd be if I was happy. You'd be great. You'd be happy. But for me, it was like, it almost feels like I'm letting a part of my personality or like identity die or something if I do that. I don't know how to explain it. It's strange, but hopefully people relate to it. I mean, it feels relatable to me, but that's my life, so I don't know.
But what do you think is missing for you in order to be able to say, I am happy? Because from outside, it looks like you have a lot of things going for you. I
don't think it's anything outside.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like celebrities and people get so depressed, because it doesn't have to do with like outside stuff. I mean, yeah, sure, like family and all those things, like 100%. Like some of my most like best moments are with my son and my wife and my family, for sure. But I'm just saying, I don't know, like, if you're not happy and you have all those things, I think it's all comes back to like what you have going on inside yourself, like not allowing yourself to be happy, or like we're all shaped by our past, how we were brought up or whatever, how we feel. And I think it's just sometimes like you kind of train yourself to be a certain way. And so, yeah, I feel like I just kind of did that in some way. So, yeah, it's not, I mean, I have more money than I could ever need. I have a beautiful wife, an amazing son, a family that I love so much. Like, there's so many things I don't have to worry about. But it just goes to show that, like, that stuff, like money and stuff like that, doesn't buy happiness. It like helps you not worry about certain things, but then we just find new things to worry about.
Do you know what I just thought when you were saying that is, maybe it's total bullshit, but maybe the feeling of happiness that we experiencing right now is the most happy we can get. Of course, there are moments where it sparks, right? Where it's like you're more happy than in others, but the baseline of happiness, would it be depressing if the level of happiness we're experiencing right now?
I think that just depends on where you're at in your life, probably, because there probably are some people who are like, there's people that aren't like me, who don't feel like me, who may feel happy, you know what I mean? Personally, for me, I know I could be more happy and live in the moment more and enjoy things more. So for me, I know that's not the case, but I also think that can be like a dark hole that you go down for people who are like, I'm unhappy and this is the happiest I'm ever going to get. You know, that's definitely, there might be someone who is happy and that is the happiest they might get. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I do really feel like a lot of people don't live in the present. I don't. I live in the past and the future. I don't live in the present. I'm always thinking about the past, what I could have done better, and I'm always thinking about the future. And if I don't fix this or do this, like this is going to ruin this for me later on and blah, blah, blah. But like, it sounds like something I feel like everyone says, but it's just something that frustrates me about myself, because I do think I could wake up years from now and be like, you know, my wife will tell me that, like, you're going to get to the end of your career and you're not going to have enjoyed any of it because you're just so obsessed with this and this and this. And she's right. I mean, I'm like, I really want to figure that out. So at least, you know, my last couple records, when that day comes, I'm like, you know what? I enjoyed those last tours. It's not that I haven't enjoyed any of it. I'm just saying, like, most of the time I'm just obsessed with work, just obsessed with making it better, or, you know, what's next.
Yeah. So just being more present is the next thing you want to work on.
And enjoying, like, actually taking a second. Like, on my last tour, I definitely had some moments where I, like, looked out at the crowd and I just felt like, not to sound corny, but just, like, genuinely thankful. And, like, just wow. You know, like, I can't believe I'm doing this. And I don't do that often. So it was kind of a cool moment for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't do it very much.
Yeah. Also, your new album is going to come out next week on Friday, on the 7th of April. Congrats on that, sir.
Thank you.
Hope it's going to be released. And in an interview, you once said that you make music from the place where you're currently at. So I was wondering, what was the place you were in, or from what kind of mindset where you did you start working on Hope?
I think this album was such a big problem for me because I struggled with I've always, like, written about my actual feelings and my actual life. And I'm in this, like, weird limbo of, like, being super self-aware, still struggling to change some things, but also I am getting better in other areas, and also struggling as an artist to being like, man, I want to give my fans something different and creative, but then some days I don't feel different than what I've been or what I put out in the past. So I think that was a huge, like, something I know I really got in my head on this record, because I was like, man, I want to make something that's, like, impactful and hopeful and but still emotional, but not so depressing. And I think I just, like, there was just a lot of moments and songs that I couldn't finish just because I was so obsessed with, like, does this sound like the same thing? Is this? When really the best music you can ever make is music where you just make it. You don't, like, obsess about whether it's as good or, like, whether you've done something similar before. I feel like I really got my own way on this record. So there's definitely, like, a hopeful side to it. There's still emotional stuff to it, but I feel like it's just still definitely a journey. I think there's some really impactful moments. Like, I feel like Mama's going to be awesome for people, like, to hear, because if you follow my journey, you know, when I put out How Could You Leave Us, however long ago it was, if you heard that song and then you hear this song on the record, I just think it's cool to see the growth of like someone you followed for years, and see how like things can change. I think it'll be encouraging for people. And then people who maybe still, their parents still alive, they might feel like, man, I need to like call my parent, because you never know, man. You never know how long they'll be here. So
How was writing the song emotionally for you?
I mean, it was powerful. I actually wrote the song a long time ago, but I just remember like, I remember showing it to like family and showing my wife and stuff, and it's just like a lot of people get super emotional when I show it to them. But it's like a different kind of emotion. That's why I'm happy about like to show people, or excited to show people, is because I feel like it's not like, I don't know. I just feel like it has a different emotion than stuff that, my other stuff that you feel emotional about. Like it just makes you feel like, I don't know. People just have to hear it, but I'm really proud of that one, and I feel like people are gonna relate to it.